Most iconic, the most iconic got to be intro music, or what you call that? The theme song, whatever the fuck. Cause it ain't really a song. It's instrumental. It ain't got no words to it, nothing like that. Either way, y'all know what it is. Thank you for returning to another episode of the Talk and Play Blurred Pod. I'm your host, Brian Sav. Like I said, this is the Talk and Play Blurred Pod. Like I said, also thank you for tuning in to listen to me blurt out about whatever it is I'm interested in at the moment. If you are a returning listener, you already know I cannot find words to express how much I appreciate you. Just know you are appreciated. Waiting, don't you? I don't know why I'm in such a singing mood right now. Maybe because X-Men 97 is finally in our hands. Who knows? But yeah, I appreciate you if you're returning. Even if you knew, I appreciate you for stepping in as well. You read the title, you know what it is. I'm preparing for X-Men 97. I've been preparing for the last month or so by rewatching the series from episode 1 all the way into the end. Just, because the story is very much like it. The story is a story, so you kind of got to watch it from the beginning to understand what's going to happen in X-Men 97. Now, what I will say is, if you had the privilege of watching this X-Men series live, or when it was first airing back in the 90s, the mid to late 90s, you was eating. You was eating, because the storytelling on here is amazing. The animation for it, especially that time period, fire. Like, I'm thoroughly impressed with this show. And I'm saying it as somebody who watched the show in pieces. I haven't seen every episode of the original X-Men. Definitely can't say I've seen enough episodes to say I've seen a full season front to back. But as I'm watching it to prepare for 97, I'm like, yo, the storytelling alone is phenomenal. Some of the things that they're doing with the art as a cartoon, phenomenal. Like, there was one episode where, like, they simulated what it was like a camera zoom in and out, so it was like it was blurry in the background and you're seeing the action up front, and then they kind of changed the focus a little bit, and so the front image became blurry and then the back image became super clear. I'm like, this is a cartoon. You don't need to really do that, but it really added something special to the visual aesthetic of the episode, because that's something that you would normally see in live action because of how camera angles and eyes work and all that stuff like that. It was dope. That's beside the point. I don't want to make this intro too long. So before I just jump into all the things that I really liked about X-Men, what I will say is I'm not finished with it, so don't expect my X-Men 97 review or anything like that super soon. I'm about halfway through the entire series. I think the last episode I watched was season 3, episode 6. So it's part 4 or episode 4. I think it's part 4 of the Phoenix Saga, which is pretty good. I don't know. All of the little sagas that they've been packing into this series, I'm like, I get it now. I really understand why people love the X-Men show as much as they did, because they really just took the comic and made it into a cartoon and gave it extra depth and extra flavor by, this dynamic voice cast, or adding this dynamic voice cast to the characters, making sure the writing is just as deep and enduring as the comics. Like, they did a fantastic job with the original X-Men series. I'm a little taken aback. I ain't even gonna cap. But again, beside the point, we'll talk about that in the episode. I don't want to make the intro too long. Only other thing that I want to say, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I know I said this on the NRW checkpoint with Webster Style. If you're not following the Nerds Rule the World YouTube channel to watch me, you can see my face, like see me and my dog Webster Style discussing all the new games and most, attention grabbing game news on our particular program on that Nerds for the World YouTube channel, then you're missing out. Because again, you get to see me live in action on camera, being a nerd, being a blurred, talking about music, or well, we do discuss music sometimes, but talking about all the new games that have coming out or came out over the past week. Just go over there and watch us. Either way, yeah, we talked about Akira's death, and I just want to, again, send my RIPs. I've been posting Akira's work, mainly Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z stuff, every day since I heard the news. I'm a little shaken up, but I ain't even gonna cap. Like, it bothered me a little bit just because this man, like, literally laid a foundation, opened a door, set me down a path that now defines who I am, or helps define who I am as an adult, as an individual. And I don't really have too many people that I've never met before, don't know them, they don't know. I don't have too many people in the world whose work have just affected me that way, to the point where it's like it's a integral part of my aesthetic, my personality, who I am. So I don't know. It was kind of crazy hearing the news. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we talked about Toonami and how impactful the Dragon Ball Z series was when it was on TV. And then I just want to celebrate all the other stuff that Akira has done in gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure y'all could tell that he was the artistic director of like Dragon Quest and some other games. Like his legacy spans beyond Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. That's what we know him for most, but like everything else he's done is pretty high profile and pretty prolific as well. And it's just crazy, because I don't know if I would be who I am had his programming, Dragon Ball Z specifically, not chokehold me. Chokehold, is that is past tense for chokehold? If I wouldn't have been swept up by Dragon Ball Z like I was, I don't know what kind of person I would be. So shout out to Akira, because man, again, there's not many people in this world whose work has affected me to the point where it's like this ingrained something in me as a child, and it only grew. And it has yet to stop growing. And it all came from that man's brain and his love for people and art and animation, the storytelling. Like, I don't know. I could say a lot, but for the purposes of not having this intro be super long, or this episode, I'm gonna just leave it right there. RIP Akira Toriyama. And yeah, man. Without further ado, let's just go ahead, play some music real quick, and then jump into, this review of where I am with the X-Men series, because I don't want y'all here for too long. And on top of that, yeah, let's go. Nah, we can get started. It's up to the volume 2 here. What time is stepping on this shit? Got this motherfucker going crazy, nigga, being a party. NCO Apties, nigga, you know what time it is. I'ma take a bougie ass to Rodeo and then let her pick up whatever she want. CC Gucci Hippo, take her whatever she want. She pissed me off somehow, she still get whatever she want. All right, so before we get into everything, let's keep in mind, remember, I just said this, I'm not finished with the X-Men series yet. Like I said, last episode that I watched, season 3, episode 6, part 4 of the Phoenix saga. Really enjoying that. Part 5 should be crazy, because part 4 was fire. Literally, because, Jean, she be catching on fire like a phoenix. Anyway, before we do that, though, I must express my disdain, my discomfort, my dislike, everything this this. This is a problem. Bo DeMayo, however you pronounce your last name. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just, I'm trying to get it right. So I'm saying every possible, I'm saying the most common possible iterations of your name. Either way, I don't know why he got fired. And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck, Marvel? Like, what? Or DC? Not DC. Disney. That's what I meant. What the fuck? What's going on? Because the writing credits and stuff that I'm seeing from this dude, like, he basically spearheaded this entire X-Men 97 project. I saw showrunner, head writer, head producer, just a bunch of amazing titles attached to this man's name in reference to X-Men 97. I've also seen that he was credited as writer and producer on some other really dope Marvel projects like Blade and Moon Knight and stuff like that. I'm just like, what went wrong? Why fired him weeks before the premiere of X-Men 97? Like, I don't understand what the issue is. Clearly, or as far as I could tell, the blogs and all of the gossip sites and everything, Hollywood Reporter and Entertainment, and all of the outlets that have reported on this, they are as confused as I am. I just see things like abrupt and sudden and unexpectedly out of nowhere, but nobody's telling me why. And I want to know why. Disney, like, what the fuck is the problem? Because when I found out Bo was gonna be a part of this project, especially in the way that he was a part of the project, I was like, okay, this is dope. Especially understanding or having some kind of idea as to what kind of person he is. Black, first and foremost. And then there's also some other labels of representation there that I was like, okay, this is cool. We got a nice, like, I don't know, we got somebody that kind of represents, it's like a focal point almost. Like, they represent so much of not just black people and, the different cultures and life paths we could take, but just in general as a person. He wasn't no cookie cutter, average white boy that just had a fantastic experience with X-Men and wanted to bring X-Men 97 to life. It's dope because his idea was to continue the series and call it X-Men 97 and stuff like that. Like, this is brainchild pretty much. And I was just confused as to why Disney or Marvel, whoever pulled the trigger on this firing, I want to understand why, because I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like when black people lose out on opportunities or done wrong to the point where they feel like stuff like this is okay. They would rather be silent and disappear and let the firing happen rather than speak up and say, this is fucked up. I did X, Y, and Z, and they playing dirty. Like, I just want to understand what's going on, because he's been quiet. He done deleted all his social media and stuff like that. The show is still moving forward. Everything that I saw in these news articles said that he finished out season 1 and season 2, was gearing up to prepare everybody for season 3, and then this firing just happened. I don't understand. Is this Marvel or DC's way? Not DC, Disney. I keep saying DC. Is this Marvel or Disney's way of saying, fuck that, we definitely not going to give you anything more than 2 seasons, because how dare you, nigga, be so great and get all of this attention for something? And I don't know. I'm making up shit. I don't know. It could completely be his fault. I don't know. But I just don't like it. I feel like if he created the show, if he did the legwork to get it going, get it out, promote, which that's what I've been seeing since I heard about X-Men 97 coming. I've been seeing his name and face pop up. It's just, I don't know. Why a black person gotta suffer? That's really what it's about. He's black and he's a blurred, just like I am. Everything else going on with his personal life and stuff like that, I don't have no problem with that. It's just, I don't like black people losing out on opportunities, especially when the opportunity is something I really, really fuck with, like X-Men 97. I don't know. I need answers. I need them, because I'm at this point. I told myself, and it's crazy that I was having this debate because I was really excited for it. This is part of the reason why I decided to wait so long to like even record and talk about what I've seen so far with the X-Men series, because I was conflicted. Like, do I want to support X-Men 97 knowing that Disney fired this man? But then it was like, I don't know why Disney fired this man, or Marvel, I guess. And on top of that, I still want to support, just to let them niggas know, like, black people, we show up for our shit. And, you know, of course, other people are going to be watching this as well. X-Men was very, very popular. And like I said earlier or in the intro or whatever, if you got a chance to watch this series when it was airing live on television, your life was amazing, because the storytelling is fire. But yeah, of course other people are going to be watching as well, but being that he is so publicly attached to this, I want to show Marvel and Disney, like, you can't fuck with us like this. We're gonna show up and support our own, and we're gonna have, you know, these incredibly high streaming numbers on Disney Plus, be one of the top rated shows. So if you decide not to renew for a season 3, and if you decide to do some foul shit to never bring this Bo person back onto the payroll or whatever, you're gonna regret it or whatever. I don't know. I want to finish the story. I want to understand where Bo was going, where his head was going with the continuation of story, and I just want to support and let Disney and Marvel know, like, the show, outside of what y'all doing behind the scenes, the show is still gonna be a success, and it's largely in part to that man. So y'all might want to put some respect on him if y'all not gonna give him his job back. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This could all be some very, very creative PR work to get us, and, you know, really, really into X-Men 97. I don't know. I'm confused. Like, why they fired the dog? Why they fired him? It's just crazy. But outside of that, again, halfway through season 3, going to watch season 4 and season 5 before I start X-Men 97. All I'll really say, because I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all understand what's going on with the story, but some things I wrote down, right? I really enjoy the serialized episodes throughout this entire series. It's been a continuing story since episode 1, and I love that, because it kind of got this like soap opera kind of feel to it. Like, the whole continuous episode thing is really, really dope. Cartoons, over time, they have done a great job with this. Especially, this is another reason why I have to, you know, give my flowers, say my respects for Akira Toriyama, because I feel like he's one of the pioneers for this style of television when it comes to cartoon and animation. Because what he did with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, this continuing story that never broke stride since episode 1 all the way to the end of the series, you see that replicated and emulated here in the X-Men series, and I just think that's really, really dope, especially because the X-Men is not just one or two characters. It's comprised of a group of characters, and they all get their individual moments to shine throughout the series, as far as their own episodes, their own storylines, their own interactions with characters in and outside of X-Men. Like, I just like how the storytelling has went thus far in this series. I didn't remember that that Cyclops had made the team leave More for Dead on that initial mission or whatever. And it's crazy because that incident continues to pop up as the seasons progress. You know, you see Morph in these precarious situations where he's being used as the pawn by the enemies of the X-Men and stuff like that. And it's just like, it all stemmed back from that one particular moment, which was crazy because it's literally one of Cyclops' first missions as leader of the X-Men, and the X-Men being an X-Men period, since we're talking missions, like it's their first mission, one of their first missions or whatever. So of course teamwork is not there, camaraderie is not where it needs to be. Like, they weren't gelling all the way like they should. They taking direction from Cyclops. They're not too sure about him because they just kind of meeting for the first time over these, past couple episodes. It was just it's dope that something like that ended up being very pivotal. Like Morph as a character became very, very important to the X-Men series just off the fact that they kind of did him dirty episode 1. I thought the man was dead by the time the credits was rolling. Lo and behold, he ain't, but still. Oh, that was dope. The Wolverine Jean Cyclops triangle thing, I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Now that I'm old enough to understand what it is and why their relationship developed over time the way it did, to now we're at the point in the X-Men lore where they've officially made them a polyamorous couple, and they've done things to the characters to just make it solid. Like, this is a complete triangle situation. They're dating each other, and I see not the remnants. I see the seeds being planted for that over in this X-Men series from the beginning. And I just fought with that for a couple reasons. We ain't really gonna get too much into it because some of that got something to do with my personal business, and I don't think y'all ready to know me like that. But what I will say is I like the polyamorous representation there, and I'll leave it at that. I also like that because this is to me, right? What's happening with Wolverine, Jean, and Cyclops, this whole love triangle situation, is very mature and honest when it comes to how a lot of adult relationships take place, even though it's not necessarily spoken on or emphasized the way it should be, because monogamy is the primary and most accepted relationship style. Meaning, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that are sharing a woman or sharing a man, or everybody is aware that everybody is doing XYZ with one another, whether they want to come together and acknowledge that or just pout in the corner and be mad about the situation but still continue to do what they do. That's a thing. And I like that X-Men took some steps early on, because this is like the mid-90s that they having these very, very adult, very, very honest conversations about how adult life is, and they kind of just did it in a way where it was like, the kids ain't gonna pick up on this, maybe the adults will, but they not even ready for the conversation right now, so we'll address it in the future. Fast forward to the future, Jean, Wolverine, Cyclops, polyamorous triangle love relationship, and it's out in the open now. I thought it was dope. I'm seeing things like that one scene or whatever where there's Wolverine's laying in bed pining over Jean, but he's doing it to a picture of Cyclops and Jean, and I was like, I see. I'm listening to the way Wolverine and Cyclops and even Jean, I'm listening to the way they interact with one another, and I'm like, Wolverine don't hate Cyclops. He actually like him. And on top of that, the only reason he really be mad is because Jean is she be acting like she's embarrassed of my dog or whatever. Like, she'll love all on Cyclops and do the whole, oh, I want to get married and all this other stuff like this, but then be kissing on Wolverine and kind words and I feel the same and all this other stuff away from the group. But everybody know, like, all three of y'all got something going on, and we don't care because we're all outcasts just trying to make it in this incredibly discriminatory world. So why the fuck y'all playing with each other's emotions and feelings like this when y'all could just be in the open? That's probably what Wolverine was so mad about, because he like, nigga, everybody know that you like me back, Jean, even though you dealing with Cyclops as well. Everybody know that I don't got no issue with him. It's just you playing me to the left when you could just love us both and we'll both be okay with that. Because Cyclops, if you notice, he never really be like, Wolverine, you overstepping by having feelings for my lady and all this other stuff. He was just like, And it's what it is. Jean shows me the most love. I love her back. She's my focus. Um, Wolverine's my brother, and I guess now partner. But it was never no like real animosity between the guys. A lot of animosity coming from Wolverine towards Cyclops, but that was because, like I said, Jean was playing him to the left, even though everybody knew that they all had a thing going on. Cyclops never really fell into that. I'm just paying attention. Like, he never really got like back dirty with Wolverine. He was like, okay, this nigga mad. I understand. And kept it moving. Gene! Like, he just kept it moving. Wolverine was like, okay, this not really Cyclops' fault, but he do be getting Jean in some fucked up situations, and for him to be receiving all of the attention, he need to be protecting her better. So he be throwing the little slave shit at him. But at the end of the day, like, they really comrades. Whenever it was time for Wolverine to be saved, Cyclops was the first one. We need to go get Logan because can't leave him. I'm seeing that. I'm like, there's feelings there. Same thing with Wolverine. Cyclops, no, gotta get him. He need to help me protect Jean. There's feelings there. He came with little nicknames for the man. Like, they didn't have beef. It was literally, Jean, why the fuck you just won't love us both in the open? And out of there, at the point where she's doing that, Marvel was like, yeah, they're polyamorous. So I just thought that was dope. Honestly. Speaking of polyamorous, you know what? I'll say that for the end of the episode. Because we know what, I'll just do it now. I'm going to be getting back to the watch list and the playlist. The watch list, I've had a bunch of new shows, anime included, that I've been watching. Not new shows. I've just been watching a lot of TV lately. I need to talk to y'all about it because TV's been good since the strike ended. I'm locked in. It's part of the reason why I ain't been recording this frequently. I've been watching all this great television content. And then on the flip side, the playlist, a lot of music has come out since my expedition into Gag City, which I'm still a resident, still listening to this Pink Friday album and all the songs I like off of it. But there's been more music that's come out since. I want to talk about it. Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign put out their joint project. I'm really excited for Metro Boomin and Future's project. This shit gonna be lit. I just feel it in my spirit. I know it's gonna be fire. But that's beside the point. We're talking about X-Men and X-Men 97 right now. So stay tuned. Tune back into the podcast. Don't just leave me because you don't care about X-Men. You don't want to talk about this no more. I'm gonna be getting back to some of the music and the television. So future episodes. But moving past that, I didn't realize that the start of the Apocalypse and the Four Horsemen saga was so like tied to like the whole Mastermind Sentinel saga. I don't know if that was by design of the television show or if the comic books are like that. I can't really recall. But that's a great storytelling, especially if it's like they only did that for the series, because that shit melded together really well. I like how the end of the story kind of like shook some sense into Senator Kelly. He started getting his shit together. I do remember him to be like, he was dumb in the beginning, but then he saw the light and now he fuck with niggas. So and I get that. And I feel like the X-Men Evolution series might need to get remade. Just based off this Apocalypse Four Horsemen saga, because I remember how they did that saga in the X-Men Evolution series, and I was like, this is really well done. I was thoroughly tuned in. I want to see X-Men Evolution get remade next, or continued, or whatever the case might be. Bo could have been doing it, but of course, somebody had to get in the way and chop the man. It's crazy. What else I wrote down? I love X-Men specifically for the fact that it spoke directly to and kind of like advocated for Black people and our existence and our struggles and stuff like that, as well as other marginalized communities like the LGBTQ, like just other brown or Black or persons of color. Like, we know we go through a lot in this shitty ass country. America is like, or not even America, the United States, because other parts of America, you know what I'm saying, Canada, Central America, South America, I don't really hear much when it comes to racism and discrimination and systemic oppression. It's just a lot going on here in the United States specifically. And X-Men kind of, you know what I'm saying, in its own way, shed a lot of light on that. And I really, really fuck with that. And I don't know, just shout out to Stan Lee. He's another one that passed away, had such an influential, part of my life. And I don't know who this man is other than the fact that he created everything I know and love when it comes to geek shit. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of sadness going on. But moving on, I had never realized as a kid that Storm was claustrophobic. That was just like a tidbit that just randomly flew by in the episodes or whatever. And I was like, Storm is claustrophobic? But then it makes sense because nature is outside. Nature can't be enclosed or encapsulated or whatever because it's nature. It's the world we live in. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense. But I was just like, Storm's claustrophobic? That don't make sense, but it do, because the wind can't be contained, and the electric, it's just stuff. But also I come to the realization Cyclops is actually a really good leader. He was actually a really good leader. It was dope seeing him like internalize the feedback from the conversation that the team had with him about, like leaving Morph and stuff like that for dead. Like, it really, I don't know, moving forward through the series, the rest of the missions that he was going on, it really like stuck with him. It's like when Wolverine and Gambit like got at him for leaving Mort, and Beast at the beginning of the season, because they left Beast too, but Beast just had he went to jail. But it really like triggered something in him to be like, I need to be more mindful of my teammates and stuff, and not be such a punk just because the going got tough. It just he had to turn this shit around, and he really did that to the point where it was like when it was Wolverine's time to be saved, he was like, no, not finna have another Morph incident. We're going to get him, or I'm gonna go get him by myself. I don't give a fuck. And obviously that had a little bit something to do with the triangle dynamic, because something else that people, at least I haven't been seeing people realize, is that a part of the reason Logan and not Logan, well, yes, Logan, but part of the reason Wolverine and Cyclops care so much about each other is because they knew if one of them was to die or something, like if one of them was to not be in the picture, that would affect Jean greatly, to the point where they would like feel bad that other person's not there. So Wolverine and Cyclops did a lot of looking out for each other, just purely out of their love for Jean. Like, I don't want Wolverine to die because Jean would lose it. I don't want Cyclops to die because Jean would never recover. Like, they both had that in their brain. They showed it. They didn't speak on it, but they showed it, and it was like, you know what? Gotta protect my dog. And then, other things are there as well. But more adult conversation later in the podcast. What else? The thing with Rogue, right? I want to talk about this because there was a lot of discourse when the original like trailer for X-Men 97 came out. It was like, oh, they took Rogue's ass away. She ain't thick no more. First of all, cartoon. Let's start there. We don't even really need to sexualize cartoons like that. They're not real people outside of the voice actors that play them. And on top of that, like, there's so many different iterations of Rogue. If you don't like the way Rogue looks in X-Men 97 and you want her to have body yada 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 yada, all you have to do, open up one of the comic books. Hell, search Rogue on Google image search, and all that Rogue ass will just pop up. There's plenty of Rogue cosplayers on Instagram that are more than half naked. Love those ladies for doing that. Like, if you want Rogue with ass, it's out there. It don't have to be on everything. But what also made mention in my brain, what also triggered me to speak on this, Rogue wasn't thick like that. She didn't really have, like, she wasn't really giving like that. Like, she didn't really have the ass that everybody was saying we missing in the X-Men 97 series. Now, I have, like I said, yet to watch the series because I'm going to finish out these last 2.5 seasons, so I caught up on the story before I start X-Men 97. But Who knows? Watching X-Men 97, they might have just not gave her no ass for the trailer, and then she might be like ass when the motherfucking X-Men 97 premiere. Like, you just know. You just don't know. I mean, the reason I say that is because in X-Men, the original, whatever, the first or whatever, I think I should call it X-Men 96. Well, because it ran from 95 to 97. How long was X-Men on? A couple years. Either way, some of those shots, Rogue was flat as a motherfucking sheet of loose leaf paper. Like, she had nothing going on, but then it was certain angles, certain positions they would put her in. It was like, oh, Rogue got that thing back there. And that cat might be fluffy too. You know what? This ain't no damn children's program. It's an E-tag on here for explicit, nigga. We adults. We adults talking about cartoons, sexualizing them. That's crazy. Either way, yeah, it was like certain positions she was thick, other positions flat, straight up and down. They could be doing that in X-Men 97, and I just also want to point out that that's what it was back in the original. Some angles they drew her, she ain't had none. And other angles, like when she was laying on the ground and shit, was like ass tooted up. You could see that thing. So it was like, I don't understand why y'all was up in such an uproar. Y'all must not have rewatched like I did, because the ass wasn't assing at all scenes. Nah, it was assing, but it wasn't assing all the time. Either way, let it go. Rogue is gonna be Rogue regardless. And like I said, if you want to see Rogue with ass, Google. She's there.
Yeah, glow. Stomp a little pussy hoe with some shell toes. Yeah, glow. Slapping rap bitches and making bail hoe. Yeah, glow. Two-tone Cartier match the nails hoe. Yeah, glow. No competition, these bitches stale hoe. Yeah, glow. Curbing, no curbing, my shit in layers hoe. Yeah, glow. Say they get money, but I can't tell hoe. Yeah, glow. Keep running circles around these snail hoes. Yeah, glow. And my shit bumping up in the jail hoe.
What else I wrote? The Easter eggs that were in X-Men, I never noticed those as a kid. It was parts of this story, like where they would randomly like show, like, oh, Captain America or Captain Marvel. There was an episode where I noticed Havoc was in there, who is Scott's or Cyclops' younger brother, who also is a mutant. Like, I was like, they sprinkle in little not X-Men characters, but they sprinkle in other characters from the Marvel property just in X-Men. They just randomly pop up as you're watching the series. They're not even like mentioned or addressed or pointed out or whatever. It's just like, if you're paying attention, you see Captain America pop up. If you're paying attention, you see all these other like really, really high profile X-Men or X-Men characters, mutants or whatever, pop up in the series. When I was like, this is dope. I really liked that they did that. Shout out to Stan Lee and whoever else was a part of drawing the X-Men 97 or at the original X-Men series, because that was dope for them to include like that. What else I wrote? Oh yeah, the Cable Bishop time travel episodes. Those were masterfully done. I really, really appreciated that. Specifically because I like when media, movies and or television, cartoons, whatever. I like when there's points in the story where it's like we're getting the exact same story, but through the eyes and ears of different characters. And that kind of happened here. It was like they played one episode or whatever, and then the next episode in the saga, you're seeing that same episode, but from the eyes and ears of a different character that's participating. So you're getting a little bit more of the story. The stories are progressing a little bit more, but then you're also seeing scenes like from the previous episode. I was like, this is dope for a cartoon that came out in the fucking mid-90s, bro. The level of storytelling. Because live action shows can barely get this right in today's time period. So to see it so masterfully done in the X-Men series, like I said, in the mid-90s, I was like, this is fire. I know they was eating when this shit was live on TV, because I was like, damn, I've seen that done in current media. I've seen it try to be done in current media. They did it really well in this X-Men series. Again, in the middle of the fucking 90s. I was like, this is dope. Um, I never realized that Rogue storyline was heavily tied to Mystique and Miss Marvel. That just kind of caught me by surprise when they was like going through her episode, and she was like, I don't know if I want to be a mutant no more. Now that they got this cure out here, I might be interested. And then all of a sudden, Mystique and Miss Marvel become a part of the storyline. Or is it Captain Marvel? Which Marvel was it? I just seen two other characters, and I was like, this is interesting. I didn't know they felt a Rogue like that. But that was dope. Running back to Morph, he was pissing me off. He was pissing me off. He probably will continue to piss me off. I still got 2.5 seasons left to watch. But currently, I was like, the whole Mr. Sinister storyline, like when it was in the thick of it, I want to say towards the middle and beginning, towards the middle and end of season 2 and like a little bit in the beginning of season 1, I'm like, or not season 1, season 3, I'm like, what the fuck is up with Morph now? I know his brain fucked up or whatever. He's severely traumatized. Mr. Sinister playing with his emotions, his brain, everything like that. Somebody else was manipulating him too as well in the beginning. It's he been going through a lot. But when he broke free that mind control and willingly just told Sinister that he wasn't being mind controlled anymore and just tried to attack him, like the whole squad wasn't there and was gonna subdue him like instantly, like he could even take Mr. Sinister like one-on-one. Like, why the fuck would you do that? I just something about that, it really pissed me off. I know he going through a lot, but I was like, bruh, that was like the most terrible time to try to be a hero. Like, why would you not just continue to pretend like you under this man's control, and then when he ain't paying attention for real, then you try to sneak and do some like low-key undercover shit? Because you have the ability to morph into whatever the fuck you want to. You could have easily, undetected, got the X-Men free if you would have just played the little mind control game just a little bit longer. It's like as soon as he snapped out of it, he was like, I'm free and I'm finna shoot you. And Mr. Sinister was like, you dumb bitch, you dummy. And it immediately just, now you over here on the wall tied up with your homeboys and homegirls and them. Since you want to be gang so bad, get over here and get ready to die. I was like, this is crazy, because you really could have saved the day, but you decided to be an idiot. What else? There was a part in the series that further speaks to the Cyclops Jean Wolverine triangle where Jean had got taken, and Cyclops and Wolverine, they immediately flew back to the mansion. They walked in, they didn't speak to nobody. They went straight to Professor Xavier's like, we need to talk. Jean has been snatched and I'm ready to go. Get dressed. I don't want to hear anything. Professor X was like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to get Jean. Guess we're going to get Jean. And the whole crew, they was planed up, ready to go. I was like, I like that. Go and step my chairs. It was just so funny to me. It was so funny because they really just came in stone faced, didn't speak to nobody, went straight to Professor Xavier. So first thing out of Cyclops' mouth, we need to talk. The very next scene, everybody was dressed and on the plane going to get you. I was like, that's right. Mr. Sinister was funny as fuck. Gotta be one of my favorite villains in the whole X-Men like series or whatever, because the nigga was hilarious to me. When they pulled back them vines, because you remember they was going to get Jean, right? So they landed. When they pulled back them motherfucking vines and start walking to capture X-Men through that little cave, I said, I know damn well Mr. Sinister did not give, because remember, they was in the Savage Land, big ass place now in the middle of the Antarctic, some tropical rainforest shit, secluded in the cold glaciers of Antarctica. When he pulled them vines and walked them back, I was like, I know Mr. Sinister did not give them the address to the driveway. He was so confident that his plan was gonna work. He was like, put them niggas at the front door, and when I flip the switch and they realize they ain't got no motherfucking powers, go out there and collect my specimens and bring them in the house. It was like he literally door dashed them motherfuckers to his front door. I was like, this is a funny dude. He is diabolical because he didn't leave no kind of nothing. Make them land way far off and try to trek through the forest or whatever so they can't remember how to get back to the plane. No kind of shit like that. He was like, bring them niggas to the front door, send them the coordinates right outside the garage. And when I turn their powers off, walk them in because they're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to do a damn thing. That was funny to me. There was also a moment in the series where they kind of like referenced E.T. twice, and I immediately thought about Universal. Like, damn, did Universal didn't sue them for this? Because I know E.T. was the whole reason they was referencing E.T. is because it was a popular moment in pop culture happening at the time that this was premiering. So I was like, y'all got away on that one because Universal definitely would have told them lawyers to go ahead and get that funds, go get them funds up off you for mentioning one of their properties. But I just thought that was funny because they said it twice. They said E.T. twice, and I was like, Logan, you out here watching E.T.? That's funny. But outside of that, Gambit, I start to, the more I watch the series, I realize why I like him so much because he me. Every time some shit go off, he be like, bro, I'm tired. I don't want to go out here and fight nobody. Why we can't just stay at this big ass mansion and flirt and get drunk, play with our powers and stuff? Why we gotta go outside and deal with these niggas? But he be like, all right, I guess. One of the more stronger mutants too. So it's good that he's willing to be a team player, but that's so me. If the rest of the team ain't, I'm gonna express my lack of concern or just not wanting to be a part. But if the rest of the team go and I know I could play a vital role or be of great support, I'm all right. I guess I'll go fuck with you. But those are just some of the things that I have been writing down as I'm watching this series. Again, episode 3, I'm about to watch episode 7 part 5 of the Phoenix Saga right now after I turn this microphone off, and I'm enjoying it so far. I just, again, the storytelling in this show is great. Like, that's what's been locking me in the most. I don't know if the storytelling in X-Men 97 will be, you know what I'm saying, just as good. I would assume, because Bo, he was a huge fan of the original series. So I don't know. Oh, this shit was on from 92 to 96. Okay, that's what's up. I'm curious though, is this gonna be like how they releasing the episodes? I still haven't seen anything about that. I guess we'll figure that out as we go. It's funny to me, which I laughed at this. I shouldn't have, but it's interesting to me how every time somebody is able to fuck with Professor Xavier's powers to the point where he like reverts to being a regular human, he can walk. That's funny to me, and it's also very like fucked up. So I'm like iffy about laughing, but it's like, damn, why every time he loses his powers, his legs start working? Like, it just, I don't know, it bothers me. But I do like the dynamic between Professor Xavier and Juggernaut, because they are half brothers, and I find it interesting that Xavier is one of the most powerful minds in the universe, and then Juggernaut is one of the most indestructible, one of the most strongest people. I don't know about universe, but definitely in the world. It's the whole brains versus bronze thing, and for them to be half brothers, I was like, that's dope. One of the brothers got all the brains, and the other one got all the bronze. Like, to the point where Professor Xavier can't even walk. That's how much bronze he don't have. But Yeah, I just thought that was dope. Um, Jean, I'm glad that we're seeing some progression with her character to the point where she's not passing out every other word. That was exciting for me. So getting to the Phoenix Saga, I was like, okay, cool, because Jean one of the most strongest mutants in the whole shit. I'm tired of her seeing her fainting. I'm tired of all of that. She does it a little bit with the Phoenix Force, but that's understandable. Just her regular, everyday use of her powers, though, knocking her out in the middle of battle. I'm like, you hurting the team, sis. I need you to stay at the crib or get your shit up. Like, why you not practicing your abilities like everybody else? Why this shit fucking your head up like this? But then, brain powers, I guess. I guess it would be something that's kind of, if you overexert your brain, I'm pretty sure it would be crippling like that. But the passing out all the time, that shit, it became a problem at some point. Like, not funny anymore. Like, it was bothering me. What else did I want to mention before I let y'all get up out of here? I think that's pretty much it, yo. I'm, like I said, in the midst of trying to rewatch everything so I can get on X-Men 97. So when that finally happens, I will be here to discuss. Outside of that, like I said, catch me on another episode of this here pod talking everything I want to blurt out about. Oh, I like the dynamic between Professor Xavier and Magneto as well. Obviously, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I see it. If you don't, that's fine, but I see it. I know that's been a comparison black people have been making forever about these two characters, but it's even more reinforced here. Them niggas don't hate each other at all. They're actually friends. They just got opposing views on the way things should be handled when it comes to this situation. And I ain't mad. I like both viewpoints. Sometimes I'm more Magneto about the shit. Sometimes I'm more Xavier about the shit. It just is what it is. But I'm really looking forward to getting into X-Men 97. I really want to find out how they're releasing the episodes or whatever so I can like come back or at least gauge when I'll be able to come back and review everything. But until then, I appreciate you tuning in and listening to me blurt out about X-Men and all this other bullshit that's going on. I'm going to finish out season 3, probably jump on season 4 and 5 pronto so I can get into X-Men 97, and then I'll be back on here shortly with another review. Now, my tour for 2024 has already begun. Started it off a little slower, or started off with a more chill vibe. Went to eat at the Strawberry Festival here in Plant City, Florida. That was dope. A lot of food. I had fried frog legs and fried gator bites. Like, got a bunch of like strawberry flavored stuff. I've never had strawberry bread before, but I bought it and it's fire. Think banana nut bread, but like instead of bananas and nuts, it's strawberry. It's the same concept. That nice little loaf. It tastes phenomenal. I was like, oh wow, I never heard of strawberry bread before, but it's real. It's a thing. Strawberry Festival was dope. Didn't really do any rides out there because that's like a carnival situation. These like fold up, build a bear ass rides, they're iffy for me. I've been on them before. I know that they have a level of safety to them that allows them to be folded and unfolded and packed up like that the way that they are. Plenty of people was out there riding things. It's just it wasn't calling me on that particular day when I went out there. I was much more interested in the strawberry sweet tea that I enjoyed, or it was more actually a tea and lemonade mixture with strawberries. Strawberry Festival was fire, but the next stop on the tour, Dreamville. We're going back to Dreamville. If you haven't seen the lineup, you are tripping. The headliners I'll just say that. They include SZA, Chris Brown, J. Cole, obviously Cole because it's his festival. He headlines every year. But SZA, Chris Brown, J. Cole, and Nicki Minaj are headlining the Dreamville Festival. Really excited about that. Y'all know how I feel about all of those artists because I've talked about them plenty of times on this very podcast. So that's the next stop on the tour. I think we like less than 3 weeks out from that. So if I don't get on here and give my thoughts and opinions on X-Men 97 before I give my thoughts and opinions on the Dreamville Festival, don't be mad. I'm busy. I'm on tour. I'm working. I'm experiencing life. I got a lot going on, but I'm happy. I'm happy and incredibly grateful. My gratitude has been at an all-time high. I've never been this grateful in life before. And it's really not anything, well, I ain't gonna say it's nothing in particular happened. I don't know. I've never felt like this. And it's weird, but it's welcomed at the same time. So, yeah, without getting too deep into that, I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. Let's play some music to close this out. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Remember, I am Brian Sav. This is the Talk and Play Blurry Pod. If you are interested in following me, I am at BrianSapph on Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok, but I don't really use it like that. But you can still follow me because every once in a while I feel like posting videos on there. And same thing with YouTube. Don't utilize it, but if you want to follow us there. And Threads. I'll be on Threads too. Either way, if you want to see my experience, because I went to Dreamville last year. That footage and those, all that's still up there. If you want to see what's going on this year, check me out. I'm like I said, I'm on tour, so I got some other shit going on too. And I also want to say I'm upset because I waited in that virtual queue for over an hour for DreamCon tickets just to get to the damn front of the line, and they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, we sold out already." So I probably won't be at DreamCon this year. I was really excited, looking forward to going. Got some of my gamer friends. We was excited looking to going, meeting up for the first time. But they sold out. Which I ain't, I'm not surprised. Niggas gonna turn up for niggas. We're gonna support our own. Especially, I really love the camaraderie. And I just love everything about blurred, nerd, geek culture, whatever. The black people in this particular sect of pop culture, we really be supporting our own. And that's dope. Well, yeah, now I'm rambling. Sorry about that. I'll catch you on the next episode of the Talk and Play Blurry Pod.
You running out of shoes to wear, so I bought you another pair.
I'll come and slide by 8 p.m.
What did I do to deserve you? Don't even know what I did. Been praying on this since a kid. I guess it's just luck if you say so. How you get all of that body and face though? What kind of water they serving in clay cold? This is me talking, it's not DNA ho. Ready to pop out, but we gotta lay low.